As I watch videos on people commenting on the No Kings rallies that happened this past weekend, I couldn't help but think that what's amusing is where I'm sure No Kings rallies were not happening in the world. For one, I saw, I can't remember which YouTuber I was watching, they pointed out that there were like posters and things being put out by the coordinators of events over in maybe in Europe, saying, well, if you actually live under a monarchy, basically, or still have a monarchy, here's how you can use different kinds of language so you don't like upset the fact that you are living with a monarchy still. I mean, the most obvious one being like England still has a monarchy. So they're all about the having no kings, but also change your language to be sensitive, to be inclusive of those people who actually do have kings, but maybe they're actually more okay with actually having kings. So that was super ironic. I just wanted to point that out. But also just the fact that places like Russia at the present under Putin, places like communist China, communist North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela, where else? Can you think of some other countries where you wouldn't be allowed to have a No Kings protest, where to go out and protest would mean that you would actually be arrested, that maybe your family would be arrested or harassed, that you might just get disappeared and just nobody hears from you again, right? And over in Russia, you might show up being thrown off of a building and have the news call it a suicide, because I guess Putin is a fan of that. So you got places that are actual authoritarian, corrupt crap holes, dictatorships, where if anyone could use a protest or a protest on their behalf, it would be those kind of nations. But instead, they're protesting here in America, where they have the freedom to do this. They have the freedoms protected to go out and peacefully protest. You don't have freedom to block the road. You don't have freedom to trap people in their cars, to block people's freedom of movement. You don't have the freedom to get violent. You don't have freedom to fight the police. You don't have freedom to burn down buildings. You don't have freedom to launch fireworks at police or to otherwise instigate violence. Those kind of things are against the law. You should expect that the law will come down on you for those things, and I would encourage and hope that the law would, because while we live in a very free society, we also do have law and order, and these things must go together, and the Constitution is a great framework for figuring that out at the federal level. So anyway, the contrast is just very amusing. That, well, I mean, of course, it's an irony that we on the right can obviously see. That obviously we don't have a king, we have a president. That the branches of government more or less work, that checks and balances more or less work. Now we can see how judges are usurping their power by stopping Trump at every turn. These activist left-wing judges are trying to stop Trump at every turn, and so that's still playing out in the courts and whatnot. And certainly when Biden was in, and probably when Obama was in, and they were using their executive orders to try to force the liberal will on the whole population, that they got pushed back at times from conservative judges too. But we can see that it's really escalated, that the TDS against Trump is so strong that, and there's no consequences for judges to do this. They can put out some injunction or something, try to be a roadblock in the way of some executive order that Trump is lawfully giving, just to really be a pain in the butt and show their side that they're doing something. And they really don't give a crap about the Constitution anyway. To the left, it is this living, breathing document that you study the Constitution just so that you can play word games with it, manipulate what the text means, totally throw out the historical meaning of the text, and just apply whatever postmodern, anything goes, any interpretation is valid sort of thing to it, and with a straight face claim to also be pro-American, pro-Constitution, and all that crap. Of course, on the right, we see through that nonsense. So, huge contrast. They're not out protesting at places that are actually authoritarian. They're not here protesting about other places that are authoritarian. They're calling our own government authoritarian because it's upholding laws that the leftist government administrations were not, actually holding criminals accountable, actually dealing with things, actually being the adults in the room, imperfect as the administration is, as flawed as it can be. Certainly has had its own missteps and things, and certainly Trump uses bombastic language and exaggerated statements, and has his own tactics for getting his way, right? He makes some bombastic statement, and then the European countries react to that, or liberal state governments react to that, and end up actually doing the very purpose that Trump and the right want them to, like clean up your cities and deal with your stuff, or he'll send the National Guard or send the military or something like that. And so there's negotiating tactics that are happening there that frustrate people or confuse people, even on the right, because I didn't even realize, probably the first go around with Trump's presidency, I wasn't even really aware of that there was a method to the madness. It would seem so. Anyway, the No Kings thing is a joke. I did make another video I still need to get posted on my thoughts about it too, but I just wanted to just point out that ridiculousness, that we have the freedom here to peacefully protest, and that's great, and we should intelligently protest. And if you're going to protest, you should know what the heck you're talking about, right? Because you might have seen videos of protesters where they don't have a clue. It's just like, I saw this one where these college girls were just at this protest on a college campus, and they're just kind of there because this is like the thing to do, and it's just the cause. They don't even have a clue. So, I don't know, if you're going to protest, know what the heck you're talking about, understand the other side's positions, have some evidence to back up your claims, critically think about it, be able to talk intelligently on the matter, and get out of your own echo chamber. I think that's what I've got to say about that. So, if we had the kind of government that they're acting like we have, using their own bombastic and ridiculous language, catastrophizing kind of language and counseling, this would be all or nothing thinking, over generalizing, catastrophizing. It would be minimizing their own positions, the consequences of their own politics and things, blaming, externalizing, of course, defense mechanisms like projection. That's huge on the left. The projection is so strong, the left absolutely says that it's the right that are the ones that are projecting. This is while the left loses sense of what a woman is, and that obesity is not healthy, that you can't have a nation with wide open borders where anybody in the world apparently can just claim benefits, use taxpayer funds for things, vote, and even run to be politicians, even become police officers. That is like insane, and would be insane probably for most people throughout history. So really out to lunch there. So anyway, the left is ridiculous, and I hope that more people can see through their tactics and the absurdities. I hope that the fruits of these no kings rallies is that the left and the Democratic Party becomes smaller and weaker because of just how ridiculous the positions of the left are, how unsustainable they are, how divisive, hostile, aggressive, how increasingly aggressive and hateful they are in the rhetoric. Everything they claim to support, everything they claim to be against, is contradictory. They are absolutely full of hate, full of judgment. All the nonsense, all the phony tolerance kind of talk has gone out the window. They see themselves as, and in many ways rightfully so, as having power, and they're gonna use it. And they're gonna use it. They're gonna wield that. That's what we've seen them do, is wield that power. Force the things. Have judges make ridiculous rulings. Push ridiculous things as laws. Force things on businesses. Try to control our speech. And bully and cancel people that go along with what they want. So we've seen what they do with some power, and far from loving, tolerant, just want a seat at the table, just want to be treated as equal. All the nonsense platitudes that they use, we can see right through them. And so I hope more people can too, because that stuff is ultimately empty. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to just keep on putting out content, putting out my thoughts. Let me know if I'm the one out to lunch. Let me know your thoughts. Please debate in the comments below, and I'll jump in from time to time and see them and maybe comment back, and yeah, all that good stuff. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.